Okay, it's kind of warmed up enough outside, so I thought I would give you a little tour of my vintage camper. It's not pristine clean, but it's clean enough for company to come over and take a look at. So it's starting to warm up. It was so cold and kind of bitter this morning, and now the clouds have cleared off and the wind's still a little bit cold, but not too bad. I'm out with my little house dress and my sweater, and I'm comfortable. I'm usually warm anyway. So I'm going to just take you over for a little walk over to the camper and show you around a bit. Don't have any electricity on in it yet, and I can't open up like the front to let more light in because it's windy and it would catch that little front apparatus in front of my trailer that goes over the front window when you're driving, so bugs and stuff don't get in there. So, and I've got my little monopole that I'm using, so it's a little bit shaky, so sorry about that. So we're just going to take a little walk over to my camper, and there it is. So I'm just going to walk and talk at the same time. So here she is. I'll just kind of take you out. Ooh, it is windy. Take a little tour around the whole camper so you can take a little look at it. It's got dirt on the side, sorry about that. When we got it, somebody had repainted it. This was not the original color. I'm not sure what kind of paint they used on it, but I don't think it was appropriate to the camper, but it's alright. I like it. It's kind of cute. I like beiges and greens and whatnot. So I'm just going to take all the way around. And there's still my shower in there and whatnot yet, because I keep my lawn chairs in there. So let's go in. Kind of a makeshift door. It's kind of broken. The door handle is not the original door handle, as you can see. Somebody had put a household one on there. Oh Lord, it was like laceration city here, so I kind of just duct taped it. It may do. And the same with this. They just cut a great big wedge out of that, and it was all sharp and stuff, so I just put some duct tape. It's good enough. So let's go inside. Like I said, I'm sorry it's kind of dark in here, but I'm going to leave my door open so hopefully you can see it. So we are inside now, so I'm going to show you the little curtains that I was talking about. See, they're like little anthropomorphic. Little carrots and lemons and onions and fruits and vegetables. So I have those on my little side, and these are the ones I had just got. So the front of a camper in my living room area has them now too. You can't see, they're hanging kind of below. And the little valance, and I have them over on this one. And look outside. There's my lilacs. Look at, they're all budding out. My flowering crab, that's all budding out too. Love it. So I have the little curtains around in my dining area. And my vintage camper, as you can see, early 70s avocado. Has the original refrigerator and stove. Let's peek inside the stove, because whoever had it before us must not have used the oven very much, because look how clean that is inside. My little vintage pan. Have we used the oven yet? I think we've used it to warm stuff up. We've used the stove, and it has the original furnace, and we only take it out a little bit, so we just put a little plug-in one in here. And here's my little anthropomorphic guys hanging on. Here's my little broken one that he came off. I gotta figure out how to fix him. And I have this cute little enamelware, and I have this, and I have two matching pots that go with it. Different color schemes, but the same pattern. And my utensils. Like I said, everything in my camper is vintage, except for the hospital pan. But that fits so nice in my sink, so that's what I use. This strainer. And I got these cute little kitschy, these are plastic, just little kitchen decorations, I guess. And the kitchen prayer, everybody knows that, and it's in a plastic plate. And oops, sorry about that. And I have my cute little magnets and stuff. Let's look in my cupboards. Okay, so in my cupboards I have my flour sugar containers, my little vintage toaster with a little toaster cover, and my Nancy Lynn cups, which you'll see are those. And I have some miscellaneous dishes, all vintage, and I have my aluminum cups. I have an assortment of those, the vintage ones. And here's my fancy glassware. Here's just what that looks like. It's all up in storage. And my bowls and my Melmac. And then over here, can I do the full tour? It's always fun to see what's in other people's cupboards. I got a little basket. These are not vintage, but we do have some plastic cups. And underneath here is my little vintage percolator, which we used. And my other Melmac is here. And remember these? Keep your paper towels in them. There's a section for your wax paper. One way up on top, I don't know if you can see that, is for the foil. I can remember my grandmother had one of these, and hers was copper. So that's what's up in my cupboards there. Just all the basic stuff. And then my silverware drawers, which are kind of broken, they're always falling off. But all vintage silverware. I've got the silverware that has the wooden handles. Don't you love that? And some little hors d'oeuvre server things. I'm sure you guys have seen these. So I try to keep, like I said, I try to keep it vintage as I can. Some miscellaneous vintage pillows, handmade pillows that I've gotten here, there, and everywhere. And this is the couch. And that's, when I had gotten it, it needed to be washed. Cushions were in good shape, so what I did was I stripped it all off, washed them, and then line dried them. And then the cushions, I hosed them and disinfected them and squished it out and had it laid on my picnic table in the sun. And that's how I cleaned the cushions. And here's some more pillows. This is our little bar area. And anyway, it worked fine. It cleaned them all up and they're nice. We have a little bar area with all the little miscellaneous bar stuff. And this is an old TV lamp. They used to set them on their console TVs for light. So I use that in the camper, and some just little miscellaneous little vintagey stuff. And that little bowling trophy is my grandfather's from the 1965 playoffs. I love that. Found a home for it. And there's another vintage radio like I have. So that's the kitchen area, and then here is the little, this is another 3/4 bed. We have slept 2 people on that. Not comfortably, but we can. The table goes down, and then the cushions get rearranged, and you can sleep 2 people on there. Cramped, but it works. So up in these cupboards, I just keep, this is where I cheat and I use my Tupperware, because here's all my fancy vintage glassware I use for cocktail parties. It's just easier and more practical. Have to be a little bit practical. We do everything as vintage as we can, though. And here's some more, and then I have that glassware I was talking about. That is the thumbprint or indented tape right there. So that's there. And these old campers would run, like the refrigerators and stuff would run on electric and gas. So this light runs on gas, just like my refrigerator. And I didn't show you the inside of my refrigerator. It's safe, there's nothing in there. And this doesn't stay on, but we noticed that the refrigerator doesn't stay as cold as we like, so we just left this little door off. Whoops. And that keeps the refrigerator cold enough. And, you know, we got a little thermometer, so we know and make sure that, whoops, that it is keeping cold enough, because you think it's cold enough, but you want to be safe. My little refrigerator and the little door and stuff. So that works. We use the refrigerator. It takes a while to get it all cooled up, so as soon as we get somewhere, we turn it on right away. And a little linen closet with our little hanging basket and some odds and ends or water things. And this is a little plug-in warmer. You plug this in and it gets really warm, almost hot really. And then you can put your pots and stuff on there to keep your food warm. It's a little food warmer. And an umbrella and this and that. And this isn't vintage, but okay, it's older, but not vintage to early 1970s. I did look at it is an orange microwave, and it's an older one. It's an old carousel, and we use that. You know, you gotta have a microwave, gotta have some modern conveniences. But it is an old one. But I had gotten a vintage one, and I was gonna put it in here, but my husband, and it was very heavy. And my husband said we would blow every circuit that we have in here if we put that in here. And it was so, it was a smaller one, but I couldn't get it to fit anywhere. And I got it, couldn't get it to fit anywhere, and it was so heavy we had to put extra support stuff. So we didn't, and I ended up finding this one, and I think I just gave it back to the thrift store. I think I spent $20 on it. That's okay. Somebody will use it for something, whatever. But we got that little microwave. It's an old one, and you know, anything that's older than 20 years old is considered vintage. So it might be vintage, but not 1970s vintage. So anywho, let's turn around here, and this cute little door is the door to the toilet. To the powder room. So we'll go back there. Now, I will tell you, this is not completely ready for company. Here's my little shower with my butterfly. This isn't vintage, but it matched my grandmother's vintage camper. Lord, what are these curtains? So it matched my grandma's set that she had in her camper. So it's fudgified a little bit. Got the vintage type hooks hanging it up. So I will show you my shower, but I have my vintage webbed lawn chairs stored in here right now from the winter. So those are in there, but it's a workable shower. You know, it's all lined kind of with a plasticky type of I don't know, paneling type thing. And we got little tension bars up there for our towels. And I don't think this was original to the camper, but it was in here when we got it, so we just kind of left it. But here's the shower head. It's a little hand squirter. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know what they had in here, but I think somebody just fixed it up from the years, you know, and just stuck that on there because it worked. And that's okay. We just left it. We thought it was kind of funny, and it works. I mean, it runs the water through and it works okay. And then I try to do like little vintage touches. You know, I've got my dirty laundry bag here that we put our dirty clothes in. Right now it has vintage slippers in it. And we got a little, it's a shower cap or, you know, swimming cap. And remember these? Soap on the rope. Jovan, soap on the rope. We don't use it. We cut the plastic on. It's just for show. And we have the, remember the Prel? I would have loved to got the Prel in the original Prel bottle, but and a little lint brush got, that's vintage too. And what's back here? I don't even remember. Oh, it's a shower cap. It's not vintage, but you need a shower cap because when you set your hair, you don't want to keep setting it all the time. So here's the cute little toilet, and I found this cute little vintage crocheted toilet seat cover for it. And I've got my little green shag fuzzy scale. Sorry. And I don't think I've ever given anybody an official tour. Well, yeah, I have, I guess, for camper rallies and stuff, but try not to mess up. And a little wastebasket and a little chenille bath rug. And we have other rugs underneath it just so it's a little bit cushier in here on your feet. And we just have some vintage, that's a curler bag and some just little vintage this, that, and the other things up here. And another little laundry bag that I just keep miscellaneous stuff for your kerchiefs, for your socks, for your dirty laundry. We just use it to store stuff. And all my towels that I use, this is just for guests, you know, nobody uses. These are just for show, little butterfly towels. But we do have vintage towels that we use when we take this out. And what's in here? Well, these are my camper clothes. You'll see, if you look at my vintage camper videos, you'll see some for me, some for Christy, jackets, coats, sweaters, and then my husband's stuff. You can't see it back there. And then here's some of our linens. Look at that. I got one for each of our bed. Isn't that kitschy? It's a vintage. They're vintage. I got them new dead stock, so they were brand new. Just had to be washed because they were kind of funky feeling. So that's there. And then I got some more Tupperware that I keep. I got 2 vintage crock pots in here and whatnot. So I do have stuff like that isn't quite vintage, but everything can't be because you had to be practical. Whoops, sorry about that. So this is my little vintage camper. Oh, and I don't think I showed you. I'll show you the place settings. These were my Grandma Bean's vintage plates that they used in their camper that she hung on to for years. And then my mom had them, and then I got them, and I had them in storage for years and years and years. My grandma passed away quite a few years ago. And then we got this vintage camper, and there you go. Look at it. So anyway, here's that Nancy Lynn I was talking about. She was kind of known for her anthropomorphic stuff. Little placemat. And of course they had dishes and little cups. Aren't those cute? I just love those. And just some of my little vintage stuff. Not silk flowers back then. Hard plastic ones. And an old little shaman pillow that my grandma had made. Just another little pillow. And just this, that, and the other thing in here. Oh, I just spotted this. And when we take it out, we have LP records. Long playing records. And there's my record player. And that works too. And I might have showed you this already when it came, but I don't remember. And that is our luggage. And we keep our toiletries and stuff when we use the shower facilities and whatnot at the campgrounds. The bottom one, the full suitcase, C.M. Bean. Charlotte Margaret Smith. Or she was a Bean. Bean Smith. Has her initials on it. That was my great-great-grandma's. We've held on to that for years. And then I found the matching little Samsonite travel case that went with it. Here we go around. So I picked that up for just a few dollars. It needed some fixing, but fixed it up, so it's nice to have the little set. So I have that little vintage set that was my grandma's, and I found the case that matches. And then I have another set that the travel case was my mom's, and I found the suitcase that we take out when we go out and about around here, not on camping things. And we take that set with us. So this is my little camper. I just love it in here. It's so relaxing. Don't get, like I said, I only get to take it out like 2 or 3 times a year. We had found some camper rallies in southern Wisconsin that we had gone to, but they were like 3.5, 4 hours away, and my husband has limited time, so we found a, oh lordy, Facebook group that's Campers and Glampers of Minnesota. Well, we're right over the border. We're in Wisconsin, but they try to plan like 5 or 6 little outings throughout the summer months. And then if you can go, you just sign up and say, hey, yep, I can go to that one. So we found one that's in Orinoco, which is like a little over an hour away, that we're going to go to in August. So we'll meet another whole little group of vintage camping people or glampers or whatever that are close to home. The ones that we went to in southern Wisconsin, most of all of those people lived over by Milwaukee or Illinois, and maybe one we so really couldn't make, met them, and they're nice, and we kept in Facebook touch with them, and really nice people, but kind of far away for what we're able to do with the amount of time that we have with our lives and jobs. So we're pretty excited to go to that camper rally in the fall, and then we'll take this to a little campground that's over by Red Wing, Minnesota. That's called Hay Creek. We know a bunch of people there, and they have little theme weekends once in a while, so we know a lot of them are my husband's customers. So we go over there once or twice a year and do that. So, I hope you enjoyed my little tour of my vintage camper. Like I said, I still need to do a little bit of, I haven't done the floors yet. I was waiting until it's just a little bit warmer out. And a few little things I have to do, but pretty much she's ready to roll. All the linens and everything I washed up and packed away and toted up from last fall. So, we're just waiting for somewhere to take her. So, thanks for coming over and taking the little tour with me. And I'm sorry it's probably jumbled and up and all over the place from walking around with the camera, but you kind of get an idea of what she's like and stuff. I keep calling her she all the time because she just seems like a she to me. I don't know, it just reminds me of my mom and my grandma, who both were campers and had motorhomes or campers that they used to take out. I always think I want to name her. I'm not quite sure. I kind of have a little name in mind that I'd like to name her and put it on the side, just because it's a family name. I'm thinking on it. I think I might do it. We've had her long enough. I think I should name her and stop just calling her and she. So, thanks for coming over. Enjoyed giving the tour. I'm so proud of her. I just love her so much. It's so fun. Even if we don't get to take her out, sometimes I'll just come out here and sit when it's plugged in with electricity, and I got like vintage camper lights that I put outside that are like little tulips. Put my little vintage chairs out, and sometimes me and my husband will just sit outside the camper just for something different. Or we might sit in here and play the record player and just relax. It's kind of a little getaway in your own yard. And I think that other people that have these little vintage campers do the same thing, that if you don't get to take her out, you might just go sit out there and have a little cocktail or a beer and listen to your records or LP, and just kind of a little getaway. Just to have it out here. And anything that you do with it for cleaning, or it doesn't seem like when you're doing your house cleaning, it seems like you're playing house almost, So I think that's another reason people like them, because it never seems to be too much work when you have them, because it's always for relaxation or fun. So thanks for coming over. Thanks for touring my 1971 Nomad made by Skyline vintage camper. And when we take it out for out and about, we'll do a whole little vlog with how we do it and what we do and our little cocktail party and whatnot. It'll be fun. So we'll catch you next time we take the vintage camper out on the road for a tour.